Welcome to today's tutorial where we'll dive into the intricacies of configuring Hadoop clusters. Whether you're setting up a cluster for big data processing or data storage, understanding the configuration is crucial for its performance and scalability. To start off, let's define what a Hadoop cluster is. A Hadoop cluster is a network of computers working together to store and process large data sets. Specifically, it uses the Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS, and MapReduce for processing data. We'll be demonstrating the configuration of a simple Hadoop cluster, which typically includes a master node and several worker nodes. The master node usually runs the name node and resource manager, while the worker nodes run the data nodes and node managers. Step 1. Prerequisites. Before configuring your Hadoop cluster, ensure that you have the following installed on your machines: Java, Hadoop, and any SSH client. For our example, we will use Java 8 and Hadoop 3.3.0. Let's begin by installing Java and Hadoop in our environment. Step 2. Setting up SSH. Hadoop requires SSH access to the cluster nodes. To set this up, generate SSH keys on the master node and copy them to each slave node. Step 3. Configuring Hadoop's environment variables. Now, let's set up the Hadoop environment variables so that you can run Hadoop commands without specifying the complete path. To permanently set these variables, you should add them to your .basher or .basher profile file. Step 4. Configuring coresite.xml. The coresite.xml file contains configuration settings for Hadoop core services. This file is typically located in the $hadoop/etc/Hadoop directory. Make sure to edit this file on all nodes. Step 5. Configuring hdfs-site.xml. The hdfs-site.xml file is used to configure HDFS-specific settings. Set the replication factor to a suitable number based on your cluster nodes. Don't forget to save and exit this file. Step 6. Configuring mapredsite.xml. This file contains the configuration for the MapReduce framework used by Hadoop. As with the previous configurations, make sure to apply these changes on all nodes. Save the file afterward. Step 7. Configuring yarnsite.xml. The yarnsite.xml file is where you configure the YARN resource manager. Again, reflect these settings on all nodes and ensure it is saved properly. Step 8. Formatting the Hadoop file system. Before starting your cluster, you need to format the HDFS on the master node. This command sets up the necessary HDFS directories required for operation. Always run this command with caution, especially if data already exists. Step 9. Starting Hadoop services. With everything configured, we can start the name node and data node services. If successful, you will see the messages indicating that the services have started. You can then access the web interface typically located at http://localhost 9870 for HDFS and http://localhost 8088 for YARN. Step 10. Verifying the installation. Let's check if everything is working correctly. You can list the file system content to verify that HDFS is functioning. If done correctly, you should see an empty directory listing since we haven't added any files yet. Step 11. Testing the cluster. Now that your cluster is running, it's a good practice to run a sample MapReduce job to ensure everything is functioning as intended. This command runs the PyEstimator job, a standard test for Hadoop clusters. You should see results indicating that the job completed successfully. Step 12. Monitoring the cluster. Monitoring is crucial for ensuring that your Hadoop cluster operates smoothly. You can access the web UI for monitoring cluster health and jobs. In the YARN Resource Management interface, you can see all your executions, running jobs, and their resource consumption metrics. Step 13. Stopping the cluster. If you need to stop your cluster for maintenance or shutting down, you can execute the following command. Always make sure that you've properly closed the running services to avoid data loss or corruption. Step 14. Conclusion. Congratulations! You've successfully configured a Hadoop cluster. Remember, proper configuration is essential for effective big data processing. If you found this tutorial helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment below. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in the future, let us know.